So we move on to the next concept, that is the concept of average speed. Very often, a person or a body that travels does not travel at the same constant speed. So their speed might vary over different segments of their travel. In such a case, it is important that we are able to calculate the average speed of the body. And mind you, the average speed in such a case is not exactly equal to the arithmetic average of the two or three different speeds. For example, if a body travels a distance from point A to point B and back at speeds of 40 and 60 km per hour respectively, do you think the average speed will be 50, which is nothing but the arithmetic average of 40 and 60? Well, it will not be 50. So if it is not 50, what is the average speed for the entire journey? And more importantly, how do we calculate this average speed? Well, this is what this session is all about. So we have the average speed is equal to the total distance of the travel divided by the total time. And in order to understand this concept better, let us take a look at the following example. A man travels from A to B at an average speed of 40 kilometers per hour and comes back at 60 kilometers per hour. What is the average speed for the entire journey? So let us look at the schematic diagram. A person travels from A to B. The distance given is d, and this is only the one-way distance from A to B. Average speed, as we all know, is equal to the total distance divided by the total time. Total distance of the travel from A to B and back would be twice of d, and similarly the total time of travel will be the time traveled from A to B, that is T subscript AB, plus TBA, that is T subscript BA, which is equal to d by 40 plus d by 60, because any element of time will be changed in this formula. We will have time is equal to distance upon speed. So over the segment A to B, we have traveled at a speed of 40. Therefore, the time A to B is d by 40 plus over the segment B to A, that is the return journey, we have traveled at a speed, the man has traveled at a speed of 60. Therefore, the time will be d by 60. So how do we calculate the average speed? Average speed is equal to the total distance twice of d divided by the total time. Time for the first segment is d by 40 plus time for the second segment we've all calculated before is d by 60. On solving this simple equation, we will get average speed is equal to 48 km per hour. Now mind you, if there are only two segments and two equal segments, very importantly, then the average speed can also be given by twice of V1 V2 upon V1 plus V2, which is equal to, in our case, in our problem, 2 into the first speed is 40. So instead of V1, we replace it by 40. The second speed is 60. We replace V2 by 60 divided by 40 plus 60. Again, if we calculate, we'll get 48 km per hour as the total speed. But remember, the above formula is applicable only in the special case that there are only two segments as we had in this question, and both the segments are of equal distance. If these two conditions do not apply, then the formula will not hold true. Let us look at another question, a similar question, but in which there are three segments. If I travel from A to B, B to C, and C to A, all distances being equal, at speeds of 30, 40, and 50 km per hour, what is the average speed of the travel? Again, we can place ABC around as vertices of a triangle, equilateral triangle. All the sides of an equilateral triangle are equal, we all know that. So therefore, the distance AB, BC and AC all are equal to d. Again, average speed is given by total distance divided by total time. Now, what is the total distance? Total distance obviously is the distance AB plus BC plus AC, which is nothing but thrice of d, divided by, now there are three segments here. So there will be time required for the segment AB plus the time required for segment BC plus the time required for segment AC. So what is the time required for segment AB? That is d by 30, plus what is the time required for segment BC? That is d by 40, plus the time required for segment AC, that is d by 50. And on simplifying this, we will get 2 into 30 into 40 into 50 divided by 30 into 40 plus 40 into 50 plus 30 into 50. And on simplifying this further, we'll get 1200 divided by 47 kilometer per hour. So we saw in this session how to calculate the average speed, and most importantly, we understood that average speed is not equal to the arithmetic average of the given speeds. So that's all for this session. Thank you very much. If you have any feedback or if you have any query, please feel free to mail your queries or your feedback to studentservices@pfindia.com.